First thing I'm going to work on is this gas piston. Since my weapon tends to jam and it's not ejecting like it should, my hope is that there's a problem either with this piston or maybe the ports that lead into it. So I'm going to try to clean this first. I'm going to do that by putting some of this this powder solvent on it and see what I can do there. I've got this handy dandy cleaning bucket, also known as my wife's yogurt cup. Comes in handy. Okay, that finishes up the gas piston. It's pretty dirty. I'm not sure that was causing me to jam, but still, it doesn't hurt to clean it out. And like I said, I use this hops powder solvent. It's pretty common, but it does a pretty good job of cleaning like the bore of weapons, and also this seems to clean right through this carbon buildup here. Old t-shirt works great to clean it off. Okay, now I'm going to try to clean the trigger assembly. So I'm going to use a little compressed air. Often when I'm outside in my storage room cleaning, I will use my air compressor. Tends to get all the dust out of here. Okay, just a little compressed air works great. And I will come back and oil all these parts once I've completed the cleaning. Next on, our next part is the bolt. Using a little bit more of this powder solvent. Drying it off. May need a brush to get down in there. I have this brush with some plastic bristles. A brush so I can reach it a little better, doing it this way. Covering the bristles with a cloth so it dries it all up. Try to always get the solvent off of there. I really don't want to leave that on there. Okay, that's the bolt slide. Nothing to the bolt handle, pretty easy to clean. Springs. Can use a little solvent on it. There's not a lot to clean on these normally, you just get the dust off of them. When we come back and oil them, that'd be great. Generally, all I do on the springs is just put my finger in there and just turn the spring and let it go right through just work my way through it. And that tends to do a pretty good job of getting the dust out of it. It doesn't really get a lot of buildup, it's just mostly dust on the springs. And now I'm going to do the plunger spring, same thing as before. I could take this apart, but there's really not a need. So I'll clean that down in there. I don't think that inside will affect the function of it, but I do like it clean. But the outside would definitely affect it. And now I'm just going to do the same thing as before. I'll just put this one in there and turn through it. Now I'm going to clean out the plunger tube, which is down in the stock. Just going to run this through just like if you were cleaning the barrel. Now I'm going to try to clean out the inside of the receiver. And the trigger assembly has been removed. Also the stock is removed, as you can see. I'm just trying to clean it out and make sure that I clean all these rails in here. Any place there is a groove, you have to get in there really well. And I'm using some more of this solvent And once I'm done with that, I will go back and put oil in here on these rails. Should be oiled really good. I'm going to use a little compressed air to try to get behind this lever here. This is just back there, but I'm going to also try to reach back there with a cotton. I call them a Q-tip. What do you call them?
Swab.
Swab?
Cotton swab.
Make sure I get that back there really good. So those kind of places that there's always buildup, places you can't reach. See that little groove there? Try to clean that out real good. And there's also one on this side that has the same issue. It has to be cleaned really well. It's starting to look pretty good there. I'm inspecting, I've still got some cleaning to do down in there. The rails are looking pretty good. I think once I get back here, I'll be great. Get a little dental tool. A lot of times you can get down into the finer corners.
With a dental tool?
Yeah, see there?
Okay.
Get your little cotton swab down in there, or your patch cloth. This will work in the little tight corners. Not putting a lot of pressure, just making sure you get the cloth down in there good. Have to make sure we get the magazine tube cleaned here. That could actually cause jamming if it's not clean as well. So that's the receiver and the plunger and the magazine tube, and we're done with that. Let's move on to the barrel. If you'll notice, can you see those two ports there? That's where the gas comes back and pushes the piston, so that has to be very clean, but you're not, according to the manual, you're not supposed to use any kind of wire brush on them. So I will use my plastic brush and a little solvent and see if we can get those clean, because maybe that's what's causing me to jam. Those ports are looking pretty good now. Try to work the bristles of that plastic brush down into them, hopefully getting all the carbon buildup out. And now we will clean the barrel. So it's a matter of running this through a few times. Careful not to bang the fingers. I always cover this when it comes out because it tends to spray everywhere. If you don't, usually if you're in your garage or something, it doesn't really matter so much. Now that I've run the bore brush through it, I'll probably run it through there 20 times. I mean, I can see the two gas ports on the inside of the barrel now, so hopefully that was the problem, and maybe it got a little stopped up. Now I'm going to clean out some of the solvent. I just run this through, had a little solvent on it, and run it through a few times just to make sure I got that barrel as clean as I could get it. Okay, now put a clean one on there, and let's see if I can clean this out some. Okay, we've cleaned the barrel. We've cleaned all the springs. We've cleaned the trigger assembly, the bolt slide, the receiver. The only thing left to deal with is the magazine sleeve. So let's go ahead and clean this guy. You can see his little carbon buildup down in there. Oil everything before I assemble it. So I'm just going to put a light coat of this oil, and this is a little wetter, but this one right here is actually called dry lube, and I will use it on some of the springs and the plunger and so forth, and that maybe the trigger assembly, but Let me put a quick coat of oil on it, and then I'll be ready to reassemble. And we're ready for reassembly.